Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be comparing the Clé de Peau Fluid Foundation in Natural with the Guerlain Terracotta Le Teint Glow. There's a big price difference between the two of them and I want to know whether it's worth it, so please watch on. So here are the two foundations. The Guerlain retails at £50 or $68 and the Clé de Peau retails at £121 or $138. They've both got 35ml of product and they've both got skincare ingredients, which I will just quickly summarise for you just while you see the application. The immediate difference is only the Clé de Peau has SPF built in, and that's an SPF 25. But let's just check the relative viscosity of the two, because in order to get that very thin skin-like finish, it seems to me quite an important thing to see how thin I can get it and how spreadable it is. So this is the Guerlain, as it happens, a 3.5W, that's my shade. And in the Clé de Peau, I am B40. So that's the Peau there. Now let's see how we do in the foundation. Oh my goodness me, the Clé de Peau is by far and away the fastest runner. Goodness me, I'm going to get a splash on the carpet in a second. Looks like one pump of the Clé de Peau will probably go further than one pump of the Guerlain. Has he given up the ghost? No, I think he's just moving very, very slowly. It's very leisurely. So there you go, you've got Usain Bolt over here, and then you've got somebody like me who's basically sitting there having a cup of tea and a biscuit instead of running. That's quite a marked difference. I will now wipe that off and let me talk you through the application when I do one foundation on each half of my face. So here I'm using the Guerlain on the left side of my face. Now, a real selling point of this Guerlain is that it has got a no transfer quality to it. So you can literally take off your white jumper after it's set. It just takes a few minutes and nothing comes off. It's fantastic. 24-hour radiance. It gives 48 hours of hydration because of the skincare ingredients, so they keep working long after you've taken the foundation off and you've removed it. It's got an ultra light texture and they say it's barely there, and I have to say you can get it so that it's barely there. As I keep saying, I like a very thin foundation. I'm using my Hourglass foundation brush and I'm going to use it for the Clé de Peau as well, so it's a fair fight. This is my second pump, and as you'll see, I don't quite need two whole pumps. More like 1.5 probably. It normally takes 2 pumps for my whole face. So I think I've probably been a little bit more generous than I ordinarily would have been. So it boosts hydration and it's got light reflecting mother of pearl particles in there so that you get this lovely brightening and glowy effect. As you can see, I just had to wipe my brush a little bit. I had too much product on there just because it's, as I said, probably for half my face I really need 1.25 of a pump probably to do it. But anyway, it's going on the way I would expect. It boosts hydration. It is a very glowy foundation. I've got, just to be clear, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream underneath across the whole of my face. So again, so that it's a fair fight. And now I'm using one pump of the Clé de Peau, which we know had real viscosity. And again, I've got my Hourglass foundation brush, which I've cleaned in between times. This gives a bare skin finish, they say, which we know it does. It's light to medium, so you can build it. Again, here I'm just putting a thin layer, a light to barely medium, I would say, for both of these foundations. It's got hyaluronic acid. It's been around for a few years, this foundation, but it's very comfortable. They say it's got 24-hour wear. That's what they claim, same as the Guerlain. And they say it resists creasing and cakiness. It's very much a radiant finish, which again, the Guerlain Glow does that as well. And it's got 24 shades. I think the Guerlain has got 30 shades, if I'm not mistaken. They say it's got a natural luminosity and a natural finish. And as I said, the key thing is that it's got the key difference to the Guerlain is that it's got an SPF 25. I've only needed to use the one pump. I mean, that really is, you can see, that's pretty much all I need to use. I'm giving it exactly the same sort of treatment as the Guerlain, nice and thin, really buffing it out. And even when I get to my forehead, there's plenty of product in that one pump, just because it's just a very, very thin and easily spreadable foundation. Look how much is left after one pump. I mean, that's pretty impressive actually for how thin you can get it. And now you get to compare the two and see whether there's much of a difference. Okay, so I've done my eye makeup, I've put some lipstick on, which by the way is the new Charlotte Tilbury, the ones with the little pink sapphire hearts on the end, and this is Naughty Talk, such an easy colour. I've reviewed the whole range, but I'm just saying this colour is just so easy, Naughty Talk. Anyway, before I put any blusher on, and I haven't put any powder either, I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Let's look close up. I'm going to zoom you in. I don't know what you think, but I can't see much difference, but let's have a look. Okay, here we go. I mean, if you look at my forehead, which is like a nice flat surface to look at and compare and contrast, Guerlain here, Clé de Peau here, I don't know, I'm not sure I can tell the difference. Now, look, I know, and you will too, if you've tried either of these foundations, how long they last. The Guerlain, for me, I really get a good 12 hours out of it. I mean, I don't tend to wear my foundation any longer, and if I do, I'm back home. I'm not that bothered what it looks like. With a Clé de Peau, I mean, I'm definitely getting 10 to 12 hours, definitely. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed because I have used it for a while. This is a new colour to me because, as I've said, I was a darker shade. My skin's got lighter as I've become a bit more, well, I've become more responsible with my SPF, as I say. I'm not sure I see the difference. I'm going to put some powder on and some blusher, and then what I'll do is I will check in a few hours later. It's not going to be a 12-hour check because, as I said to you, I know how long it lasts. But there may well be a comparison to be had, so I will check in later and let's see. Now the powder I'm going to use is my Hourglass Ambient powder, which is the pressed powder. And the reason I'm going to use that is this is the powder that I know the best, because this is the one that I've kind of used the longest. I'm not really a big powder person, although I've become a little bit more, I suppose I have become a bit more of a powder person actually, but this is the mini. This is the one that I've kind of used the most. So I think it's fair if I do that. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put a bit on my forehead because that would be sort of the normal, that would be really what I would normally do. I don't want to get rid of the glow, you know, it's a bit of a trade, isn't it? And a bit here. This is kind of the DMZ, isn't it? Because neither was really fully committed to the occupation. Okay, that's the powder. I'll put some blusher on and then I'll show you the final look and then we'll come back for a bit of a check-in. So I've put some of the Dior bronzer on and a little bit of the Natasha Denona Flirty Flush on. So I'm going to go about my day and I will check in a few hours time and let's see what we think. Here we are, over 7.5 hours later, and I honestly can't tell the difference between the two foundations. They've both lasted really well. I just don't see any difference. £50 plays £121. The real difference is there's SPF in the Clé de Peau, and depending on how important that is to you, that's obviously a consideration. But is it £71 worth of difference? You know, that's up to you. Let me put you closer, bring you closer, and then you can have a look. You will see that the Victoria Beckham lid luster, on the other hand, has not lasted quite as long and has actually been quite sort of spangly on my cheeks, which is a bit annoying, frankly, and unnecessary. But anyway, as you can see, if you look at my forehead, I can't see the difference. Can you see a difference? I really can't. It's just a nice glowy foundation, hasn't separated, it's all fine. I mean, even the colours, which are, you know, initially sort of kind of different looking colours, different shades actually, because the Clé de Peau is quite a bit warmer. You know, by the time it's on my face, it's absolutely fine. So honestly, I don't really, in all good conscience, why would I recommend the Clé de Peau to you when the Le Teint Glow does the same job for £50? And £50 is not a shabby price. I mean, that's still, you know, it's a lot of money to spend on a foundation. It really is, particularly if you're not going to be wearing it every day and it kind of sits on the shelf a little bit. It's expensive. So, and £121 is really expensive. I think it was an experiment worth doing because the price difference is so enormous. Over to you. I would love to know what you think and whether you're already a purchaser of either of these foundations or maybe both of them or just thinking about them. And is there a foundation you would like me to either try in and of itself or to compare and contrast with another one? Because one of the things I would say is with the Clé de Peau is, of course, you're getting SPF 25, but there are other glowy foundations that come with an SPF. And in fact, I wrote a couple of them down just because these are ones that I've used in the past. I'm not a big fan generally of having extra SPF. I prefer to use my SPF as part of my skincare and then that's it, because you've got to do that anyway. So I kind of think, well, why have an extra ingredient? Although I have read elsewhere that it's not bad to have a little top up, and that's just another way of topping it up. I don't know. I'd like to know what you think. I'm sure there's lots of people out there with kind of more knowledge in that subject than me. So I would love to hear what you think. Let me tell you about the other foundations that I've used. I have used, and I really have enjoyed, the Shiseido Revitalessence Skin Glow. Now that comes with an SPF 30, which originally when I bought the foundation, I think I just didn't appreciate. Otherwise, that might have given me pause. It has been a foundation I've really enjoyed. However, it's not, I can't get it as thin as I can this Guerlain and the Clé de Peau, as indeed I can get the Givenchy really nice and thin as well. And these days I just want, you know, the sort of the bare minimum really. And then if I need to build it, yes, that's fine. But I want to be able to start as my first kind of application for that to be as light as possible. However, Shiseido, that's SPF 30. There's also the YSL All Hours foundation, which I have used. It's more of a sort of a matte, a luminous matte finish, I think. It's curiously an SPF 39. That's, you know, obviously you've got your SPF in there. And then the other one is that, which I've only tried a sample of, is the Chanel Le Beige, which also has SPF in it as well, and also has sort of a glowy finish. As I said, that's something for you to kind of consider. I don't think we need to be spending that amount of money at Clé de Peau in order to get a glowy foundation with or without SPF. There we have it. I hope that was useful and helpful. Do let me know what you think, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate you so much, and let me know. I love reading your comments. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.